It's not about how do we fill that position quickly. It's about how do we fill that position with a person who can add value, not be a fit, but that can add value to the role.
Hi, it's John Bernatovich, your host of the HR Like a Boss podcast. Welcome to season 3. I've embarked on a journey to get to know amazingly awesome HR and business professionals with the hope of finding what it takes to do HR like a boss. If you like the show, please like, subscribe, and share with a friend. On today's show, I'm super excited to have LaToya Smith. LaToya was referred to me by a colleague at Willery, Brittany. Thank you, Brittany, for the great connection. So excited to have LaToya on the HR Like a Boss podcast. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good morning and happy Friday.
LaToya, I'm so curious how you would describe the purpose of human resources.
So I will tell you that for many years, I think HR has been given a bad rep. And so I think this is a great time to really change the narrative of what HR is. So for me, HR, we are the internal first responders. Okay. We are first line of defense. And we've learned that very recently during the pandemic. So who were those first line of defense individuals who were helping organizations and individuals to help during the pandemic? We are the heartbeat of the organization. And we are really honestly the people who are your trusted advisors. We are those individuals who are doing our best. Hopefully everybody in HR are making a positive reinforcement of who we are and how to make sure that people can be human, okay? How we can be human beings in HR and everybody can bring their human experiences and we provide the best resources to allow them to do the best work possible to be those contributors. And again, we support all functions of any line of business. You think about, we have to help with recruitment, which is that's my area, compensation, employee relations, learning and development benefits. So we are that first line of defense. We're that strategic partner.
And I'm just so curious, why do you feel like so many HR professionals dislike talent acquisition and recruiting, which I know you're the exact opposite because you're pouring your heart into it. Tell me why that is.
I think that HR has gotten a bad rep, but I think when you think about, for me, and I appreciate being able to enter into HR, not having previous HR experience through the recruiting route, because it helped me to understand, number one, different lines of business. But I think a lot of people don't like it is because they look at it as more of a sales role. And so I have a marketing background. So my degree is in marketing. And so, yeah, I can see how my marketing degree and my sales experience has helped me. But here's the other thing. I think people back in the day, I'm not saying now, were very tactical recruiters. They were order takers. And so for me, I am not an order taker. My title is talent acquisition consultant. I'm a trusted advisor. I'm a strategic thought process leader, and I am a consultant. So when I'm working with hiring managers, it's not about how do we fill that position quickly. It's about how do we fill that position with a person who can add value, not be a fit, but that can add value to the role. So that's one. Two, I think a lot of people hate it because guess what? We the first one to get blamed when the hiring manager makes the hiring decision and it's not the best decision based on even with our opinions and thoughts, and then it doesn't turn out right and it's our fault. Okay. And then I would also say, when you think about the burnout, right? So right now you got the great resignation, quiet quitters, ghosters, all these things, right? And the supply and the demand is not adding up, right? And so you get burnt out really quickly. And so people get very exhausted, and I understand. So you have to have that love for it. But also I will tell you, we sometimes don't always get the respect, John. And that doesn't feel good because it's not our job. I mean, it's not our fault we can't find the purple unicorn. Come on, John. I mean, it's impossible. So with that being said, sometimes we don't always get the respect that we deserve. And we get a bad rep and a bad reputation. And so you got to love this. You got to see this as more of, I am your strategic partner to help you to be proactive in your recruitment versus reactive. And I'm not an order taker. I'm your strategic partner to help you build your business.
Tell me about why do you think it's so important to have an engaged workforce, and kind of this employee engagement matters so much?
So good question. Again, going back to when you have engaged employees, you have engaged customers, you have less turnover, more productivity. Um, it will be honestly easier to recruit if you're the best place workplace, And so I think it's critical that we look at those things. It's interesting that you bring this up because I just received my engagement scores for my team, and I have a team of 8, and I take that information and the data seriously. And especially right about now, as I'm thinking about how I'm going to be better in 2023 for my team, right? And I'm appreciative because I got 100% engagement for my team, and I'm grateful for that. But how do I keep that going, right? And I think it's important that companies do a couple of things. Number one, listen. I mean, really listen. Listen to what your people are asking you and telling you. Number one, look at the data. If your company is participating in surveys and you get that feedback, really look at that data and pull it apart. Some things you'll be able to do, some things you won't, right? And then you prioritize what's important and implement a plan. But you also need to make sure that you share and be very transparent. Share that feedback. What's going right? Hey, what you're doing well, and what are some of the areas of improvements? How are we going to shrink that gap, right? Sometimes you may even need to bring in a third-party organization to do an audit of your processes. And sometimes that don't always feel good. But if you want to move forward and grow, that information is important. And I will also say, you got to celebrate the little milestones. You got to celebrate the little wins, right? No organization is perfect. And so you just got to celebrate along those little bitty changes, but you got to stay committed to change. You have to stay committed. And I choose to stay committed to change, something that you just talked about and what you're writing in your book. We have to think differently. We have to do things differently.
How would you describe someone that does HR like a boss?
All right. You want it hard? HR like a boss. You have to be an active listener. You have to be a resident leader, authentic, always keep it real, be a change agent, an innovator, be fully transparent, okay? Take calculated risks, be accountable, be culturally competent, have integrity, and be confident. That's all you got from me.
Great job, LaToya. What a fantastic show. I appreciate you being on very much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to the HR Like a Boss podcast. If it resonates with you, please leave a rating or review, or better yet, subscribe and share with a friend. Until next time, let's continue to aspire to do amazingly awesome HR.